Another one.
Do you think most companies treat employees and job candidates fairly? What's fair? The only thing I know about fair is they have it once or twice a year where you can go on rides and stuff like that. But let's get to the question. For example, do you think most companies will hire the person who seems most qualified for a job and not someone else for a bad reason? Do you think most companies try to pay their employees at least in the average market rate? Or do you think the things above are completely false and most companies are I repeat, very corrupt? I'm asking because then I know what type of mindset I should have towards companies. So that is a great question, right? Let's start our clock. I do not think that companies are corrupt or that they treat employees fairly or candidates fairly or anything like that, right? I think that companies are ran by human beings. And at the end of the day, a company is a business, right? The fairest thing that a company can do is pay you when they say that they're going to pay you, right? Because if the checks stop coming, Houston, we have a problem, right? But they're paying you to do a job, right? So do the job well and pay me well, right? So let's break this down, right? Let's break this down. So do you think most companies will hire the person who seems most qualified for the job? I would say yes, along with other factors. I mean, and guess what? Being qualified for the job has many different layers to it, right? Because it's not like, okay, it's not, oh, I've been doing QA for X amount of time. I know how to write good test cases. I know how to write good defect reports. There's more to it than that, right? Does like how do you get along with the other team members, right? That's part of it. Are you a good fit? A lot of people are like, oh, like why do you have to be a good fit and stuff like that? Because your personality is what's going to be interacting with these other people, right? So you need to make sure that you're personable, you're approachable, that you know your stuff, right? You're good, like, and that you can learn quick. You're a critical thinker, and this is not just for QA. This is for pretty much for any position, right? But that you have good social skills, that you're always looking to help out. You're looking to advance the mission forward, right? And for me, that's the best. Like that shows that you're the most qualified for a job, right? Do some companies practice maybe some type of favoritism, nepotism? Of course, right? But you probably wouldn't want to work for that company anyways. And I would say that that is on the minority of companies, right? That is on the minority of companies that act that way. I would say that the majority of companies they want the most qualified person for the job because they're about making money, right? And if you just put someone who is like someone who you just like, but they can't do the job well, then they're going to be losing money, right? And then eventually you're going to be getting laid off and stuff like that, right? They're so that's how I see that, right? So now the next question was, do you think most companies try to pay their employees at least the average market rate? I have absolutely no idea what the average market rate is because at the end of the day, they're going to make you an offer. And it's up to you whether you're going to accept that offer or not. You can counter offer, you can negotiate and stuff like that. But they're like a company is going to go into like what's in their best interest first, right? It's negotiation. You know, if you don't like the offer that you're getting, then you can reject it. You can make a counter offer. I mean, that happens all the time, you know. But it's not their job to give you the average market rate because guess what? If you are as qualified as you believe that you are, right? The rate that they give you has to be competitive because if you are in demand, that means you can easily be taken away by another company and they like and one of the most expensive things at companies is what is it called? Is it attrition, I think? Where's Natasha when I need her? But yeah, it's like when people are cycling in and cycling out, and they're getting poached by other companies. So if they do not pay a fair, like a good, not I don't even want to use the word fair, right? If they don't pay something competitive, then you can easily be taken away from by someone else if you are good enough, right? And that's how like the people get paid like low wages and stuff like that, because what they do is not very in demand. But if you are at the top of your game, and you're the best among the best, like my buddy over there, Diego, one of the best amongst the best, right? Then they're gonna compensate you for that, right? However you negotiate and stuff like that. So that like the question itself is on a false premise about average market rate. It should be like, are you competitive? And if you are competitive, then companies are going to compete for you. All right. So, and then it says, do you think the above are completely false? They're not completely false. Like I'm balanced in the way that I see it. Right. I don't think that most companies are corrupt at all. I think that they are a business. They're about their bottom line. They need to keep the shareholders happy, and they do what they have to do. Right. I don't think it's anything personal that it's like they're evil or they don't like you or something like that. It's not. It's just business. It's just business. And when things happen, I just see it. It's business, and we all have to do what is in our best interest. All right. So I think with that, right, with that information, that will help you approach going forward with the companies, because you need to be able to think like, why do people and companies do the things that they do? And knowing that they have their best interest in mind, how do I put my best interest in mind, and how do we mesh that together so that we can meet in the middle and we can all be happy, all right? So that's what I'm thinking. And before I wrap this one up, I was curious, Diego, what part are you responding to not always? Because I wasn't sure where that like what I was saying at that point when you said not always. So let me know, and then we can talk about that as well. But I'll wrap up this question for now, and then we can always revisit it if Diego's able to let us know what he was referring to by not always. All right, let's wrap it up.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.